water product because it becomes interactive with the end consumer or user. And if you want to draw out the elements of amor or oxygen, you put that intention in there. So you could put your name on and put the sub-intention of amor or oxygen in there, and you will draw that out. So it really becomes a move. Like when we originally thought of it, we thought we needed to create all these different products, and we don't have to. We basically have a palette of frequencies that you draw out based on what you're selecting. So it's intention.
I agree.
Okay, so
Kevin, what I would say is this. Here's what you can do. Here's what you can do, I think, that would help you. If you get a label, just one label, and put on that label your name, so when you charge the water, and then also put on the charging label, the label, what your intention that you want to draw out of the water, because I can assure you there are a very large number of components of this water. There are probably 100. And each one of these things you can isolate and emphasize. That will emphasize that particular water that you're charging better than anything. And let me just give you kind of some examples. I have enzymes. I have minerals. I have strange exotic biochemicals that people have never heard of. That I've got a friend that specializes in all kinds of unusual biochemicals that enhance. But he's a physician, and he studies these kinds of things. And we have produced a large number of components of this thing, and enzymes to aid digestion and increase cell metabolism. Many components. So what you should really do, since there's such a large number of components, is emphasize using the label and an intention what you want to have go into the water, and I think you'll find that it will change the water significantly. Maybe not as perfect as if I sat down and for a month worked on oxygen consumption components, but it will emphasize it enough to where you can tell the difference. Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Good.
And I think, if you really just focus on saturation, you're going to see so much action with this product that all the other things become moot. Because when you reach higher energy levels, you're generating such a massive magnetic field that you can do whatever you want with it. It doesn't matter. You're at the state where you just do whatever you want. So you're at a reality creation stage, and things just start popping into your life. Like we've had, Plato, the guy who found Bill for me, his business is just growing and growing and growing, and he can't explain why things are happening because on a logical level it doesn't make any sense that he's making all this money because he's really not doing anything different than what he was doing a few months ago. It's just the high energy states. I know in my life, my other businesses are taking off, and they're getting all credit. People want to put me on TV shows. A guy made a TV commercial for me. He spent $3,000 of his own money. He's advertising in California, and I haven't had a clue why this stuff is happening. But it's just like you reach high energy and you put an attention out there, and it just seems to happen. And then you begin to trust the process, and then it really begins to happen. And then everything else becomes irrelevant. You're healing your body, you're growing stronger, younger, whatever it is. Then life just you lose the fear, and you just kind of relax, and it becomes a positive, self-fulfilling prophecy, much like the negative ones we used to have and go through.
Right.
We're in a totally different world.
You can pretty well figure that whatever you're thinking about and what's causing you problems in your life as far as your mind is going to show up on the physical plane. The reason for that is you're creating your own reality. This energy comes in from 0 point into the physical plane. Your thought processes create the reality. So what Kevin is saying, I think, and what Plato would say if he knew maybe more about it, is what they're doing is they're not allowing negativity to be in their life, and so therefore their manifesting capabilities are enhanced massively. The reason I think that Kevin is doing very well on all these things he's doing is because he doesn't think negatively or fearfully about them. And I would say that's also true with me. And so the people that are on the machine over an extended period of time, if they stay with it and continue to work in removing their negativity, we'll find that all the other things connected with it, which is basically what you want to have happen on a positive basis, happens automatically. Because the blockages go away. It's not that it wasn't there. It's not that the energy isn't coming in. But those little subconscious negatives block that super reality that you want. Once those are gone, there really isn't a lot of resistance to creating pretty much what you want instantaneously. I mean, the reason that people can, change the quality of the water by just throwing it out of their hands like that is because they have no inhibitions. They just send the energy and they know it's going to work. And, hey, guess what? It does. See? They create a business and they know it's going to work. And guess what? It does. Kevin has a number of businesses. They don't have any negativity connected with them. Guess what? They're getting bigger in the face of what's supposedly a depression, which I haven't been able to figure out how the depression's hitting me either. I mean, I'm sure it's depressing somebody, but I'm not depressed.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would say is the key is to simply let it happen. You don't have to do anything. This isn't an egoic process. You just let it happen. Just let it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Do your gardening. Take a trip and just let it happen. Don't get your mind into something that your mind doesn't need to be involved in.
Mm-hmm.
And, and the variable you have is the water product, and you just keep flushing your body, and it really does work well with the bioresonance program. It's like when we started, all we had was bioresonance, and a lot of people were struggling because they had health problems. There's a lot of physical issues going on, and the bioresonance doesn't really work with that directly, and so they didn't feel it. They don't feel it. They think it's not working. And then, they stick around like 2-3 months, and they look what their lives are actually starting to get better. They don't necessarily feel better, but their lives are getting better. It's getting easier on the outside. Things are starting to happen, but still, it's a slow process. The water is like a time bomb. You just throw that in your body, and you saturate. You get these visible physical reactions, and you start to feel better on a physical level, and you combine that with the distance energy. I suspect that the results that I got over 9 months would happen within, 60 days now, relative to where we are. And the technology is that much more advanced, so people are going to evolve much more rapidly. So I lead with the water program now and follow with the distance energy, because people need an immediate feedback loop. Once you get the positive feedback loop, they begin to trust. And trust is everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll go on the distance energy, and then everything's happy and wise. Eventually, we're just going to have one program which includes the two components, because it's like, either you jump on or you don't. We're going to reach a point like, either you got to buy what we're selling or forget about it. Because we're not going to sit here and try to cater to people's fears. We're not going to do that. You got to rise to our level or get off the program. It's that simple. We're doing you a favor by making it more difficult eventually, by making you jump through some hoops, because the world that you want to enter is you need a standard of integrity that the rest of the world doesn't exist in. So basically, we operate on a handshake. We operate on a trust and all these other things. There is no set policy on anything. We all make decisions based on what we feel intuitively. This is an intuitive program. Intuition is the basis of our rules.
That's essentially the only rule, because it's the only rule that works. The rest of it is all low level. See?
Right.
If you have to figure out how A plus B equals C, you're thinking too much. That's why I said the best way you can deal with this program is to take a vacation or do some gardening. This is not an effort thing.
So, like I'll get people on the phone and they'll give me a yarn, a line, or whatever, and I'm not listening to what they're saying. I'm listening to what I feel.
Mm-hmm.
So I know when people manipulate me. I may not say anything, but I know. I know when people play with me. That doesn't mean I'm going to react to them. I always give people some rope and I give them the benefit of the doubt. but I know immediately when they're playing with me. You know, and I'm hoping